Shabbat Shalom. As you all know, we change music every now and again to encourage different emotional contexts of our service. This is a service of joyfulness, of thankfulness, and of gladness. Sing from your heart. And now we move to lighting the Shabbat candles. Keep in mind as you light them, we say Shamor, to guard Shabbat, and Zachor, to remember. If we remember it, we will guard it. And if we will guard it, we will remember it. As we light the candles, we say, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat. Shabbat, יתגדש שמי רבה, ועמד ברחילותי וימלך מלכותי, בחייכון ובימיכון ובחיי לכל בית ישראל, בעגלה, ובזמן קריב, אמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה, יתברך וישתבח, יתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלל שמי בקודשה בריחו. לעילם כל ברכתה בשירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמא, אמרו אמן. For those of you who are new, either to our congregation or to our video services, the yellow parts are for you to sing in this song, in this Baruch, this call to worship. I sing, and you simply respond. Baruch Hu et Adonai We read together. The transliteration is on your left if you are just learning this prayer. We'll do it a little bit slowly so you can join in. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chachma poteach she'arim, u'vitvuna mishaneh itim, u'machalif et hazmanim, Umsader et hakochavim, b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mibnei choshech, v'choshech mibnei or. Uma'avir yom umevi layla, umavdil ben yom uvein layla. Adonai tzvaot shemo, el chai v'kayam. Tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. Blessed are you, Adonai, the Ever of evenings. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Yevod Malchuto Le'olam Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shimantam levanecha v'divarta ba v'shivtecha b'veitecha v'vlechtecha v'aderech v'v'shachbecha v'v'kumecha v'kshatam le'ot al yedecha v'hayu letotafot ben enecha v'chtavtam המזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, הייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Adonai sipetai tiftach, upi agidi latecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor V'Ha'orah, El Elyon, Gomel Chastadim Tovim, V'Gonei Hakol, V'Zoker Chastei Avot V'Imahot, U'Mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, L'ma'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor L'Olam Adonai, Mechayei HaKol atah Rav L'Hoshia, Mechakel Chayim B'Chesed, Mechayei HaKol B'Rachamim Rabim, Zomech Novlim B'Rofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayim Emunato, Lishenei Apar, Michamocha Ba'agivurot, Umidom Melach, Melech Memid, Umekayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman Atala HaChayot HaKol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei HaKol. Atah Kadosh B'Shimcha Kadosh, U'Kdoshim B'chol Yom Yahalelucha Selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. We continue in silence. B'chol HaShalom always stop for a moment, as we do at every service, to offer our prayers in the Misha Berach for those in need of healing, be it physical, spiritual, or emotional. This week in particular, we mention the names of Dorothy Janin, Mike Siegel, and Judy Schneider, the sister of Len Epstein, all of whom our blessings and our prayers. Now, we continue. This week's Torah portion, Chaye Sarah, is an enigma. The portion is called Chaye, Chai, life, the life of Sarah. But in fact, it starts with the death of Sarah. No, it does not talk about life after death. It doesn't talk about reincarnation. It does talk about who we are after our lives are complete. It does talk about our story. But there are some things to know on this historic weekend as we elect the first female vice president of the United States. We take a look at where the state of women was back in the day. Sarah, one of the patriarchs of the Jewish people. I know it's not right to speak about a woman's age, but it says Sarah was 127 when she passed. I wouldn't say this other than to tell you that it is the only time in the entire Torah that a woman's age is mentioned. We can be proud that we thought that that was important. It was important for one of the matriarchs of the Jewish people to be mentioned in an equal sort of a way to the men. They always told us how old the men were. This is the only time, but an important time. So Sarah passes on. And it leaves Abraham in a funny place. He's got to bargain with the people. Reminds him of his alien status in Canaan at the time. He's not a landowner. He's not a citizen. He's an outsider. And so we start to take a look at how did the land of Canaan treat its outsiders. He clearly, Abraham, was in mourning. His wife had just passed, and he went into town and began to bargain with the residents of Hebron. What was he bargaining for? He was bargaining to buy land, enough land to bury his wife. And he offered them money. He said, "Name your price, I will pay it." And they said, "Why would we do that? Your wife has died. You are a man in mourning. Take the land, we will give it to you." And Abraham refuses. "Absolutely not," says he. "I cannot do that from you." And it is not the Talmudic principle that you cannot allow someone to perform a mitzvah, which they were trying to do. They were trying to help someone, even someone that they saw as a resident alien. Does it sound familiar to us at all? They offered it to him for free because they were mensches, trying to do what felt right to them. He said, "No, I must pay you." And after a time, they took a look, and he said, I'll take that up there. I'll take the cave at Machpelah, but only if I pay for it." And he did. He paid hugely more than it was worth. Historians think that at that time, people paid about 15 shekels for a plot of land like that. He paid something in the area of 400. Well, it seemed like it was a fortune at that time. But what did it do for him? It made Abraham a landowner. It gave him rights in the country. It made him, in that way, an equal in the country of his choice. He gets all the rights assigned to a citizen that has land like that. And in the end, what we as the Jews know is it allowed for the burials of Abraham, of Isaac, Rebekah, and Leah. Many of our forefathers and foremothers are buried there. Not Rachel. Rachel is buried at a different tomb that is a ways away, and it's a beautiful place. If you can go see it, it's in a challenged part of Israel, you might say. It's in an Arab village, an Arab part of town, and so while I have been there, it was a bit emotionally challenging to go and to see it and get back on the bus and go to the other side of town. But it was an issue of how we treated each other, how we treated the resident alien. Is it a model that we choose to follow? Seems like one we should. And with that, we do know what the life of Sarah becomes. It becomes how we remember her after her Shem Tov, her good name, her motivating name that brings us forward. Let us all follow in the footsteps of Sarah. Let us all honor generations and people around us, as did our father Abraham. Kei Yehi Ratzon. May it be so. Amen. As we move forward just prior to the Aleinu, I want to stop for a minute and point out the red lamp in front of the laptop. How come it's there? Those of you who had been attending services before we were shut down by the virus, remember that it's over at the candles table that it usually exists and resides. And now it's here because this is the week of Kristallnacht. November 9th, 1938 was a day that a Jew should never, ever forget. It was the night of Kristallnacht. It was the night of broken glass. Let me give you some numbers that replace anything that a sermon could say. In Germany, and to an extent in Austria, 7,500 Jewish businesses were destroyed and ransacked. Over 30,000 people were detained and transported to multiple concentration and holding camps, one of which some of us visited just a year and a half ago at Sachsenhausen. Many of those people never survived the experience. That, my friends, was the beginning of the Holocaust. It was the beginning of shattered dreams, shattered worlds, shattered imaginings, and a shattered humanity. I stood outside of Sachsenhausen on that trip, knowing that trucks and buses rode over the spot in the middle of the street where I stood, carrying those who were no different than us to their demise, to a death for being nothing more than Jews. There was a house. There was a house about 50 yards from the front. And although my soul screamed out, my mouth sort of whispered as I stared at the house that was there at the time. How dare you? How dare you stare me down? How dare you laugh at me and smile? How dare you say you didn't know? How dare you? The street, my friends, at that point is wide enough for one bus to come through, or two cars if there's nobody else parked in the street. It is not possible that that house was not witness to what was about to begin. It is not possible. And so my heart broke as it yelled at an inanimate object, a house, the house that watched it all happen. And even all years later, all these decades later, still stands watching over the same gate, the same entrance, and still says nothing. That's why that candle, which came from the gift shop at Dachau, and that is why that lamp stands between our Shabbat candles every week. Because as we say Shamor and Zachor, I will guard and I will remember. Here's 30,000 names we can't mention because we don't know that we're just the beginning. And so that candle, that lamp, says the truth for us is no, we won't. We won't forget. And we won't be silent even as you stand there and mock us. As we died and as we stand before you and continue to live. The light is our reminder. The red of the blood of our ancestors surrounds Torah Ora, the light of Torah. As we all stood throughout the trip, looking in places of memorial for names that we might recognize, my anger and hate for a house never abated. We continue now with the Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon ha'kol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגאי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, ויגור עלינו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסף הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינת זו בגובה מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום אל לבבך. כי אדוני הוא האלוהים, בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת, אין עוד. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד, ושמו אחד. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ועלמא יברח חיותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון ובימיכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב יאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם ולעולמי. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא. יתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה ברכו. לעילם עם כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמא ויאמרו אמן. יהי שלום הרבה מן שמיא, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו אמן. עושה שלום ימרמה, ויעשה שלום, עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו אמן. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafel. And Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We praise you, Lord our God, creator of fruit of the vine, and you who brings forth bread from the earth. Bless our lives, our children, and our families. Bless all of those who have lost their way. Bring peace to all who seek a world of beauty. Give blessings, God, to all these today. Amen. Amen. May God bless this house with love. Amen. Amen. May God bless this house. Amen. Shabbat Shalom.